How does a collective group manage to pilfer $250 million from a fund intended to feed underprivileged children? That's what everyone asked when the Feeding Our Future scandal was unveiled in Minneapolis. The city was rocked to its core, as disbelief rippled through the public and nonprofit workers alike. A group of unscrupulous individuals had managed to steal an estimated $250 million. The money, sourced from federal COVID-19 relief funds, was meant to provide meals for children who needed them the most. Yet, it ended up lining the pockets of those who saw an opportunity for personal gain amidst a global crisis. The sheer audacity of the crime sent shockwaves throughout the nation. The culprits weren't shadowy figures from a crime syndicate or corrupt politicians. They were people who had been entrusted with the noble task of feeding the future of the nation. Their betrayal was not just against the system, but against the very children who were meant to be the beneficiaries of these funds. A scandal that shook the very foundations of trust, leaving everyone wondering, how did this happen? It's one thing to steal, but to steal from those who can't defend themselves, that's a whole new level of low. Let's delve into the murky depths of this grand theft. Just how did a handful of individuals manage to siphon off a staggering $250 million earmarked to feed underprivileged children? The audacity is enough to take your breath away, but the mechanics of the theft are chillingly simple. The culprits exploited the federal COVID-19 relief dollars under the guise of Feeding Our Future, a nonprofit organization. They played a cruel game of smoke and mirrors, creating a web of fake vendors and invoices, all while the aid money flowed into their pockets instead of towards food for the children who needed it most. But it wasn't just a case of clever sleight of hand. No, this was a well-oiled operation, a heist that required both cunning and cooperation. The suspects weren't working alone. There were insiders, individuals within the organization who, whether through fear, loyalty, or greed, chose to look the other way. They saw the red flags, the inconsistencies, and the unexplained wealth, yet they remained silent. This silence, whether it was born out of self-preservation or complicity, played a crucial role in the success of the heist. And then there were those who knew about the theft, but weren't directly involved. They might not have been part of the operation, but their inaction made them accomplices in their own right. Their silence allowed the heist to continue, unchecked and unchallenged. The sad truth is, this theft was not just a failure of the individuals who masterminded it, but a failure of the system that allowed it to happen. It's a stark reminder that when the guardians become the thieves, the vulnerable pay the price. A crime of this magnitude couldn't have been possible without some level of complicity, silent or otherwise. In the aftermath of such a scandal, it's crucial to ask, what could have been done to prevent this? The Feeding Our Future case in Minneapolis is a stark reminder of the importance of financial controls in any organization, especially nonprofits. It's essential to have a system of checks and balances in place where every dollar received and spent is accounted for. For instance, implementing stringent auditing processes, both internal and external, can help detect irregularities early on. Another essential control is the separation of duties. This means no single individual should have control over all parts of a financial transaction. For instance, the person who approves an expenditure should not be the one who also makes the payment. This minimizes the risk of funds being misappropriated without detection. Moreover, nonprofits should consider investing in financial management software. This not only automates various processes, reducing the risk of human error, but also allows for real-time tracking and monitoring of funds. However, financial controls alone are not enough. Transparency and accountability must be ingrained in the organization's culture. This is where the role of whistleblowers comes into play. Employees must feel safe to report any suspicious activities without fear of retaliation. This requires a clear and robust whistleblower policy, along with regular training sessions to ensure that everyone understands what to look out for and how to report it. Finally, it's important to remember that oversight of funds is not just an internal matter. Donors, too, play a crucial role. By demanding transparency and holding nonprofits accountable, donors can help ensure that funds reach their intended beneficiaries. Not change the past and learn from it. Such a scandal never occurs again.